All right, guys, welcome to the Ripped RTs podcast. This is episode number 4. We have an amazing agenda. You can always look at the timestamps because we put those in the YouTube video. But we're going to kick things off and really talk about building really awesome arms. And this was something that spawned very recently. I was talking to my brother and my younger brother, and he noticed that when he was on Hinge, so many of the women he saw on Hinge had it in their profile that what they go crazy for, like big arms, nice arms. And he was noticing that. And he's like, you should do an arm program. And then I had people on my Instagram that were hitting me up like, when are you going to do arm specialization for the app? And so I listened, and Gabe and we put together a freaking awesome arm protocol to really build big arms. And the beauty of like my, training system is that like, you can just tweak things a little bit to build shoulders faster, to build your chest faster, to build your arms faster. And I remember there was one point even a few years ago, maybe I was like 28, and I was like I wanted to build bigger arms, and I did that, right? I did this kind of system that we put together, and it worked really well. And for me, my shoulders grow very, very well, right? My back can grow like crazy. And arms were always the area I found that were a little bit stubborn. But when you follow this, like you actually see the arms start to really, really grow. So we're gonna talk about really how to build big arms. And we put out this email the other day, and it's actually quite interesting. There was some study done where a bunch of women had to pick what's the most attractive muscle group on a guy, right? And here's the results from the study, okay? So 423 women were surveyed and asked what muscle groups they find attractive, and muscular arms came out on top. So arms, 28% of women said arms, 21% said chest, 19% said shoulders. I would have thought shoulders would have been higher. 14% abs, and then it was back. So legs was 6%, butt was 4%. Neck was 0%, but like obviously women aren't thinking about that, but like unconsciously a thicker neck looks good. Like a lot of these movie stars just naturally have thicker necks. So I'm like training my neck again to get a little bit thicker. But my arm is healed, dude.
Yeah.
It's like
So
90% better. I can actually work out and I feel fine the next day. So I can work out. I'm just going a little bit lighter, especially with like my arm training. I'm just kind of going lighter before I can push the weight. I just need to, it's not fully healed, but it's, dude, I'm like, thank God, I'm doing amazing. So I'm going to start this arm program pretty soon once I'm like 100%. And so the concept of it is that here's the thing people don't realize is that if you want to accelerate muscle growth on a certain area, okay, let's say it's your arms, for example, that also means you need to pull back volume from another area, okay? So it's like a mathematical equation. You can't just add. That's the mistake that people make. You have to subtract a little bit. And that's also what makes your arms pop, right? If you grow everything at the same rate, or let's say you're very chest dominant, your chest just grows easily. So if you grow everything at the same rate, but you're chest dominant, then even if you build your arms, it's not going to be noticeable because your chest is going to grow even more and you're going to overpower it. So with the arm training, we're deliberately doing a little bit less, right? It's almost like slow growth mode. We're putting the shoulders into a state of growing a little bit slower, the chest into a state of growing a little bit slower. Those areas are still growing, but we're putting greater emphasis on your arms. So one, you have more resources to build and create muscle growth on the arms, right? And then two, it actually pops when you build the arms. So in this arm program, normally 90% of the time you're going to be doing heavy shoulder presses because I believe in getting strong on shoulder presses to build amazing shoulders. But there's a time when we take a break from doing the heavy shoulder presses, right? We're gonna take a break. And so on one upper body day, of course, we're gonna be doing our incline press, right? But the other day where we normally would be doing, say, for example, shoulder press, we're actually gonna be doing either a close grip bench or weighted dip, which is very powerful at building strong triceps, And for the weighted chin-ups, right? We're gonna do a hammer chin-up with the arms closer together to really build the biceps. On both days, both upper body training sessions, you will be hitting some bicep work and some tricep work. And one of those days where you're not doing the weighted chin-ups, you're going to be doing like a supinated curl to build the biceps. You'll also be finishing off with some rope curls to build the brachialis. And so you're getting the perfect amount of volume, the perfect amount of volume. You're hitting the compound lifts that are focusing on arms twice a week, closer grip bench, right? Weighted chin ups, with the right grip. You're doing some direct arm training, and like anything beyond this is too much. Like, if you were to push the envelope beyond this, it would slow you down. Like, this arm program is awesome, and you will still build the shoulders. Like, if you're doing a lot of heavy pressing and lateral raises and rear delts, you're still going to build the shoulders, but we're putting a bit more focus now on packing on size in the packing on size in the arm region. And even
Yeah.
here, like, I don't know if you can see this right now, but like, this was a photo of me when I was doing the arm specialization. I'm just sitting
Okay.
there having a coffee. The arms are
Yeah.
freaking huge, dude.
Yeah, they're popping out.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of close grip bench there, doing the closer grip weighted chin ups and the
Yeah.
direct arm training twice a week. They were just popping, dude. And so I'm gonna go back. And it's funny, like, I remember even I was on this, I was hanging out with this girl. This was a while ago. Um, and and we're and sometimes I just wear like not tight clothing. And so I don't necessarily wear tight clothing all the time. And so we're walking and she's grabbing my body, like holding on to my arm while we're walking, and she like was freaking out. She's like, "Fuck, your arms are huge." Like, your arms are huge. So like women like these big arms, and like having big arms, especially when you're lean, like that's what you get, like that's what gives you the validation. Like, even when I was like 11 years old, this is funny. Like, when I was 11 years old, I didn't know anything about working out, right? It was just like all I wanted was biceps. I was like my uncle told me. He was like, "Oh, if you want to build your biceps, you do this one." I was like, "That's all I have to do, just biceps." Like, it's just because you show, if someone asks you, "Oh, you're jacked, let's see your arm." It was all about this muscle, like this muscle. So, oh, I just learned it. I just do this. I just do this to build. This is all I need. I don't need any shoulder press, any pulling, any chest. I just bicep, right? It was all about, like, in as an 11-year-old, I was just like bicep. Like, that's how you judge if someone's jacked. It's the bicep. But then you get a bit older, like, oh, does your chest actually pop out, right? Does your chest come forward? Is it flat? But there is something powerful about having strong arms, right? So it's the Thor arm program in the app, and
Yeah.
it's really awesome. You want to run it for like at least 2 3 months to really see those arms grow.
Yeah, and ideally you want to be either eating at maintenance or slight surplus.
Yeah, eat at maintenance, slight surplus. Creatine and betaine really help drive muscle growth and fullness. So like, if you take the Keno gains and do the arm program, that works very synergistically. Betaine's good at increasing protein synthesis, increasing hydration in the muscles, so you get more fullness. So yeah, that's what I would do. And it is like, when guys get very, very lean, right? You strip off the fat, you get lean, then like you do want to put on that muscle, right? So if you're just like, even this transformation I posted, right? I posted this transformation. Okay, this guy, just look at this transformation.
Wow.
There's 2 years. He did not, but so he started off at 151, and he was on the Warrior. He first did the deficit, right? And he cut like 6 7 pounds, went from 13% body fat down to single digit, like 7, right? And so he got lean, but then he increased his calories, went up to maintenance, and then above maintenance. And he went from 151 down to like 145, and then put on like 15 pounds. And that's what creates that shrink wrap effect. So once you get very, very lean, you need to put on the muscle. You need to put on the size, and specifically build the strength, right? So what's going to give you, if you wanted to add size to your arms, right? If you want to get your arms bigger, it's just strength. If you get stronger on your weighted chin ups, if you get stronger on your weighted dip or your close grip bench, right? Like, I'm very strong on this close grip bench stuff and dips. And that's why, like, my arms pop. So if you get stronger on, your close grip bench, right? Your weighted chin, a bicep curl, a tricep, if you just increase your strength on these movements, your arms will grow. So if you go from doing like a close grip bench with 185 for 6, and you get up to 205 for 6, your arms will be much bigger. And again, with arm training, About 2/3 of your arm are your tricep. So just getting your biceps bigger doesn't do as much as people think. Like it's the arm is mostly it's more than half as your triceps. So like the triceps make your arms really big. So getting strong on those closer grip presses, getting strong on your weighted chin ups. Like I noticed that when I was doing the weight, which I might go back to soon, the weighted chin ups, hammer, hands facing me. Ideally, if you want to hit your arms, having your arms about shoulder width is better than wider, right? When I did that stuff, I definitely saw differences in my biceps, right? So just get stronger on those movements. Like if you can get up to doing 50-pound bicep curls, incline dumbbell bicep curls for six, your arms are gonna be pretty good. If you can do like 50 for like or 55 for six, your arms are gonna be pretty damn jacked. And so if you're hitting your arms twice a week and you're getting stronger, you will see your arms really, really grow.
Mm. And
And
that's actually how we build the arm program. For example, most people, if they would think, oh, I'm going to grow my arms, I will just do more biceps, sets of biceps. But like you said, you have to pull away from the other body parts. And when you do that, each set for the arms is going to be more productive because there's less fatigue coming from the other muscle groups. So you're getting more stimulating reps for the biceps and the triceps. So it's not just about adding more. The volume overall over the course of the week will stay the same, but you're allocating more of that volume to the biceps, to the triceps. So you actually have to think a bit when you're programming. You cannot just add more sets and pile on more fatigue.
yeah, and one of the mistakes, the fatal mistakes people make is like, let's say we're doing Monday, Friday upper body, Wednesday legs. Let's say, okay, well, what about adding a little extra couple sets of biceps on the leg day, right? What about doing 2, 3 sets of biceps, tricep push downs? I mean, the challenge with that is that it takes time for muscles to fully recover. And so, yeah, if you were hitting some bicep curls and tricep push downs on the Wednesday, and let's say you're doing some closed grip bench and weighted chin ups on Friday, your ability to come into that Friday workout and hit the PR and be stronger is compromised. So doing more and training a muscle 3 times a week, it makes it harder to hit those PRs. So you're actually doing more damage than benefit. You need full recovery. I even noticed this. Like there's this, it's like a puzzle, putting a workout program together is a little bit like a puzzle piece, right? You could add some extra bicep work on Wednesday, but then hitting the weighted chin up PR and doing some tricep pushing on Wednesday and hitting the close grip bench PR is going to be compromised. So 2 days a week's perfect. That's like perfect. That is that's all she wrote. And all the research shows that like hitting a muscle twice a week is as optimal as it gets, right? So 3 times a week doesn't infer any additional doesn't infer any additional gain. So um, building the arms is really, really fun. And again, like if you're a beginner, you don't need to, like the beginner should do the Greek God strength accelerator in the app, do that for 3, 4 months. Then, you can have fun with some specialization stuff. But, the specialization stuff should come after you've hit intermediate strength levels at least. Um,
Yeah.
and
How I would program it, if you're a beginner, start with Strength Accelerator and then move on to Greek God Physique Mastery because that's more of a balanced routine. You're not prioritizing a certain muscle group. You're just trying to build everything. And then you can jump into more specialization programs if you want to focus on arms or shoulders or the chest. So we have like 3 specialization programs.
yes. And like one of the things that make your arms look really good, especially the tricep. Like if you ever see Ryan Reynolds in Blade Trinity, like his arms looked crazy. His tricep just looked fucking the line coming down here. His triceps looked unbelievable, and a lot of that, Gabe, a lot of that was just below body fat. Like when you're lean, your arms, your triceps look so ripped. I posted this photo when I was actually in Amsterdam here, and I posted this photo when I was in Amsterdam, and just like a side profile shot, the triceps just, when you get really lean, the triceps just like really. I have a red filter on, just like
Yeah.
that's what makes your arms look good. So it's building the strength and muscle, and then the tricep, and like the formula. Like there's like a formula, a secret code to looking good. It's just cutting to getting your body fat down to single digit. Okay, once you're in single digit, then you can eat maintenance and focus on getting bigger, but just getting very lean through the calorie deficit, right? And then it's just getting very strong on the key lifts. If you get very lean and then you get strong, that's what creates a like a holy fuck physique. Like that's what creates a lights out transformation. Just lean and strong. And so and if your goal is arms, the stronger you get on your heavy curls, the stronger you get on your weighted chins, the stronger you get on your closed grip bench, the stronger you get on your push downs, okay, the crazier arms are going to look.
But how do
Now,
you know, like, how do people know when they should bulk or cut? Like, what metrics do you like to use?
yeah, and so this is actually very important because I do find that sometimes someone that should be on a cut thinks they need to be on a bulk, and someone that thinks they need to keep cutting should actually go on a bulk. So some people just get stuck in the wrong track, right? If you're above like 15% body fat, it's usually a good thing to cut. Like you don't have to get down to 8, 7, 8%, but like at least get to like 12, 13, right? So if your body fat is above 15, right? You don't have ab definition, you probably should cut. Now, once you're decently lean, once you have a little bit of ab definition, if you're like 5'10 but your weight's like 150, you don't need to be cutting anymore. Like if you're 6'1" and you're like 160, like you want to like once you get lean enough, then you do want to focus on putting on strength and muscle. Like ideally getting a BMI that's like around 24, right? So you can actually put in your height and weight and see what a 24 BMI is. Like you don't really want to be lean and then like much lower than that 24 BMI. So there is a time like so that's kind of the formula, but like to make it really, really simple, okay? Let's say you're here, let's simplify it. Let's say you're 6 feet tall, okay? 6 feet, which is 72 inches. 72 times 0.45. It's 32 and a half inches. So you want to first hit the correct, get your waist at the correct measurements. Cut until you hit a 32 and a half inch waist. That's measuring with a measuring tape around your belly button first thing in the morning. Don't suck in, don't push out, just neutral. And so if you're like a 35, then you have to cut 2.5 inches. And each inch is about 5 pounds. That's like 12 and a half pounds you have to cut while strength training, while maintaining muscle, right? Once you hit that, then you can focus on increasing your calories to maintenance a little bit above, and then focus on increasing your weight while keeping your waist within an inch of that. Okay. So first hit the ideal waist measurement and then focus on building all the strength and muscle, right? That's the simple formula. So, if you're 5'10", try and get your waist down to 31 and a half inches and then worry about building the strength and muscle. Now, some guys, if you don't have very much muscle at all, you might hit the waist measurement and still have like fat to lose. You can go a little bit lower if you want to, but like lock in the waist and then build muscle. If your waist is already at that amount, don't stress out about cutting. You need to put on more muscle first.
Yeah, it's gonna do way more for you. If you just keep on cutting, you're just gonna become a smaller version of yourself, like the same version.
Yeah, the aspirational physique, it's not just being lean. It's being lean and very strong. So you need both aspects. And it's going to be harder to build a lot of strength if you're chronically in a deficit. Like I focus on being in deficit because I love food. And so most of the time I'm eating around maintenance, even above maintenance. So like me focusing on the deficit helps correct that. But some people just don't eat enough, right? So it's a real thing. It's not common. It's more common people overeat, but some people just don't eat enough, right? But again, like the solution for that isn't always eat more, eat more, eat more. It's get fucking militant about getting strong.
Yeah.
Everyone I meet, and Gabe, you probably see this too. They like, oh, I don't eat enough. Oh, I can't build muscle. Oh, it's hard. It's like, bro, you just aren't fucking serious about getting strong.
Yeah.
If you're
Like it's not like food is a stimulus, like a training is the stimulus.
training's the stimulus, and like if you get focused on getting very, very, very strong, everything works itself out.
Yeah. You will like eat more, like will
You
incentivize you to eat more.
Yeah, you will eat more. Like your body is an adaptive machine. And so when you create this heavy, not just doing nonsense sets all day long, but when you have a heavy, intense workout and you're pushing for that PR, right? And you're underweight, you're not eating enough, your appetite will come up, right?
Yeah, and the other way around, that's why I like the other programs. Like if you look at the 2-day routine, like it incentivizes you to eat less because so you're training less. So your body is not trying to ask for more building blocks. So it reduces the appetite. So that's why I like Warriors Red for cutting. Like you can use all the routines for, like if a routine is good at maintaining muscle, no, or if a routine is good at building muscle, it's going to be good at maintaining muscle. But the difference can be lower in the volume, like in Warriors Red or on a 2-day routine. It's the appetite control.
Yes. And make no mistake, even those extremely lower volume routines, I've made exceptional strength gains and even gained some muscle on them. In fact, we have like, I think in the next couple weeks, we're going to be launching the ripped artiste routine.
Yeah, that's what you did, like in that crazy video, like everyone
20,
is ref. Yeah,
yeah, 2016. And like, that can, people always talk about that condition, but like, in 2020, I pretty much hit that kind of leanness with a bit more muscle. Like I hit some pretty crazy shape in 2020 as well, like looking back. But yeah, that ripped artiste, and that's in 2020. I was also doing a similar kind of very minimalist routine. Like that's where I shine when I just lock in the deficit, bring my weight down to low 170s. But yeah, that this routine will blow your mind. You'll look at it and you'll be like, this is not going to work. Like this will
no.
not work, and it will
The
blow your
most
mind.
effective programs are the most boring on paper.
Yeah. And it's like it's fun though, because like you got it's so easy to hit PRs now. Like you don't have this huge thing,
You
right?
gotta make everything count. When you're doing so little, you must make every set count.
You got to make every set count. And like let's be honest, okay? With my arm being injured, I can't train very heavy. I can't train to failure. And so I'm doing more lighter sets. I'm doing some lighter sets. Um, and I'm doing more volume, right? Because I'm doing some lighter sets, like getting myself in the groove. I'm staying a bit shy of failure. And I'm doing more volume, but it's so much easier. It's so much like I could do a workout that has a total of like three exercises, two sets each, and that can be harder than doing a workout of 30 sets, right? So it's like I just remember when I sometimes I would like when I was in my like crazy mode of getting insanely strong and I was about to do my first heavy set of incline bench, my heart would start beating. Like my heart would be beating very, very fast. I'm about to lift like 290 fucking pounds here. Like my heart would beat. And I'm like that's hard. That's hard. Like about to do a set where your heart's actually beating and you're so laser focused on we gotta hit 5 reps. We're getting 5 reps. That's hard. Just going through the motions and doing 6 sets of an exercise and then doing 8 exercises and just doing it's easy.
It
It's
just takes
hard.
time. It's just more time in the gym.
Yeah, but it's fun. Like it's fun. Like it's easy. Like even right when I'm injured, I'm like, it's just easy. It's easy. It's
Yeah, it
easy,
makes sense when you're injured to do more volume because you need more volume if you're not training as close to failure. But
and you're
like,
getting the blood into the muscle, and like, yeah, you're
yeah,
not getting close to failure, and it's also just a function of like, if I'm gonna go and do 3 plates on the incline hammer press machine, like I need to slowly build up to those 3 plates. So I need more build up sets. So I'm gonna do more build up sets. I'm gonna do one set that is challenging, right? And then I'll call it a day, and then I'll move on, right? So I'm doing a bit more build up sets, and then if I'm like if a weight feels a little bit, so I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't go heavier. Maybe I'll just do a couple of the same sets with that. So like I'm just playing it safer essentially, but I'm getting less effective reps in this training style.
yeah,
But
like
let's,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, like makes sense. Like when you see people doing a lot of sets, then you cannot take those sets close to failure. So if you're going to be taking your sets close to failure, you have to do less. And actually on that, like that last rep from failure, we actually don't like to do that. But
You know what? I was gonna bring this up because I was with Redu and we did a vlog
yeah,
together when we were in Milan. He posted on his channel,
yeah, I saw
and
that.
I told him when he did that set, I'm like, great set. I was like, I would have saved that last rep, and it wasn't it was a strong rep.
Hmm.
It's just I don't know if he did 8 reps, and so like this was 6, right? And then 7 really started to slow down a little bit. And then 8, he got up here, and then it was just really slow, right? And when you train with like my training style and you explode up, right? Like a slow rep means like it's a real grinder. Like if you build those fast twitch muscle fibers, right? Like my last rep, even if I have not none left, is still pretty smooth, right? Still pretty smooth. So I told him like I would save that last rep. And he actually was didn't quite believe me. He was like, "Really?" And he was like, he thought that all the research pointed towards you want to, for muscle growth, not for strength, but for muscle growth, you want to go like right to failure. And I told him, no, actually, the challenge with that is that it creates too much fatigue, and there's a cost. Like that last rep that kills you makes you weaker for the rest of the workout. So your total stimulus, your total output is compromised. So your second set, you might lose 2 reps, right? So on and so forth. And so he was actually quite skeptical for a while, and then he sent me some research, and it wasn't really in alignment with what he thought. Like we kind of dug in a little bit, and so I actually told him, yeah, save that last rep. Like it's okay. Like if like it's okay to like have a grinder once in a while, but don't try to get into the grinders. Like it happens. Like if I'm like, I really want to get this next rep, let's do it, and then it turns out to be a grinder, that's okay. But don't like if you know it's going to be a grinder, leave it, because that will allow you to come back stronger, and that strength is what drives muscle growth. And this is something where like I've kind of this is something I kind of like I haven't done the best job at doing this, you
It's
know.
difficult. Like,
Yeah. But again, like when I'm posting a video on my Instagram, like I'm showing the fucking all out like let's fucking go, but like, most of my sets in my training are not quite like that, right? I kind of leave a little one repper, and when you're lifting with a heavy weight that you're doing 6 reps on, like the heavier sets, it you don't even need to, like, you'll get amazing growth with 2 reps in the tank. With a set you can do for 12, 13 reps, you need to go closer to failure. But if you're getting such full muscle fiber recruitment with a heavy weight, that like you really don't need to worry about the grinders.
yeah, and that's actually like perfect if you're doing reverse pyramid training. Like if you leave that rep off on your first set, your second set is going to be way more productive because there's not as much fatigue from that first set, so you're getting more productive reps on the second set.
And like the worst exercise, here, let's tilt your camera down a touch. The worst exercise to do a grinder on is the standing press.
Yeah,
If you do it, like, dude, I've done just standing press in my workout one time, and I pushed it too hard, and I was shot. My nervous system was shot. Like I was like the workout was like done. Like I was just done. Like when you're doing this and it's fucking like you're shot. You're
yeah,
shot. So like say like you want to fin but again, and this is important to state, because some people don't know how to push themselves, and they think they're training to failure, and they have 3 reps left. So like you got to take this with a grain of salt. The right advice, if you're listening, might just be go fucking to failure, go all out. That last rep should fucking kill you. And that's what gets you to leave 1 rep in the tank, right? So it's like there's 2 different people that need different messages. But again, like you are going hard, you're training intense, you are fighting for the personal record, but you're finishing strong. Just finish strong and get close to failure without getting burnt. So, and it's hard. It takes a lot of skill to learn what a true 1 rep in reserve is. It's a skill set, right? So it's okay to put, if it's okay to once in a while you push, but like, again, the main thing is never fail on a rep. Like get as close as you can without failing on a rep or having a full out grinder. And, and then, Gabe, I think you had a point where you used to go through the grinders and then you changed. And what did you notice?
when I started leaving more reps in reserve, I'm just able to string together more progressive workouts. So in the past, when I was going to failure all the time. I would have this good workout, bad workout. So I was kind of just staying in the same place. But when you leave that last rep off, you can get those PRs more frequently and more consistently.
And the beauty of this is that, so one of the most powerful training things I put together probably honestly over 10 years ago was exercise rotation, right? So the idea is you want to train intense, but then once you start to hit a plateau on an exercise, the correct thing to do isn't to try and keep pushing week after week after week. You just get burnt out doing that. It becomes stressful. Your nervous system gets stressed, right? Create a new fresh stimulus. So if you're doing incline dumbbell press and you're burning out, the next workout cycle, the next few weeks, focus on the incline hammer or a barbell. And this keeps your nervous system fresh. You don't get as much stress. You feel more free and it's fun, right? So the beauty though is that if you keep one rep in the tank, you can milk out more periods of that movement. So you can if you were to go with grinders, you might only get 2 or 3 weeks of an exercise and then you need to change it, right? But if you have a little bit more temperance, you leave that one rep in the tank, you might be able to do that movement and feel good and feel smooth and get PRs. And hey, maybe you did 5, maybe you did 6 reps last week and you got 6 reps again, but the 6 rep felt stronger. You can keep going, right? That's a PR, that's a micro PR. But so it allows you to maybe run that movement for a longer period of time. You might be able to do it for 4, 5, 6 weeks, and then you change it, right? So exercise rotation is very powerful. I learned it from West Side Barbell, who they produce some of the strongest powerlifters, and that's what they did. And it's a much more effective way than some of these other training styles, periodization, where you're changing up the weights and the percentages, and you're going heavier for a few weeks, then you're doing lighter. No, you always want to train heavy and intense, and then if you get close to plateau, we change up the movement, and then when you come back, you might be at the same level, you might be down a rep, but then you start to build up, right? So that's kind of how it works, and it works very, very well.
Yeah, it's always just more motivation for the training. And we
It's
spoke
so much
about in the last episode, we spoke about motivation being the main driver for motor unit recruitment. Right? If you're motivated, more effort, more recruitment. So if you've been doing the same movement for months and months, you're just gonna be so unmotivated to train, and that's gonna affect your progress for sure.
Yes, we made it so seamless in the app. So as you're tracking your sets, your workouts, you see what you did last time, you improve, and when you get stuck, then the next workout you just switch the exercise. And so then we have all the different exercises, so it's so seamless.
It's easy to swap the movement. You can swap the movements for that workout or the whole program itself. So it's super easy.
And so, what's funny to see right now is that we're seeing a big shift in the fitness scene, where a lot of people are actually starting to embrace intensity and lower volume. And I would say this probably was slowly cooking a year ago or something, because we did see this one famous bodybuilder who started going viral on Instagram and TikTok. Do you know who I'm talking about? This old school bodybuilder that competed with Arnold?
I'm
Mike.
not really. Did he compete with Arnold? Mike Isertel?
No. Mike Mike Menzer.
Yeah, Mike Manser. Yeah,
Yes.
I find his approach to be kind of extreme, doing one set per exercise. It's pretty clear that 2 sets is way better.
Yeah, two is better than one. 2 and 3, they both have their pros and cons, right? So 2, I think Gabe and I kind of find that we can hit PRs more consistently with 2. 3, you get a little bit more volume. I think for a lot of people, doing 3 is probably good to get in the practice, get in more work.
Yeah, in the beginning, and then more advanced you get, I find 2 sets per exercise works better.
People think the opposite, right? But it's actually, when you're a beginner, you can do the 3rd set, and then at a certain point, you just do 2.
Yeah, I actually got this question on the app about the program that is tailored for the advanced people. He was like, how can this be an advanced program if you're only doing 2 sets? So I was trying to explain to him, when you're advanced, you actually benefit from doing a bit less. So
Yeah, what is more intense on someone's nervous system, okay? Skinny trained 16-year-old doing a 100-meter sprint, or a world-class Olympic sprinter doing a 100-meter sprint. And let's say both go at 90% intensity. What is going to be more intense?
yeah,
Now, if you think it's the 16-year-old, you're dead wrong. The stronger and more powerful you become, the more like intense everything you do is. A untrained person pushing themselves 90% means nothing, right? A very strong person doing 90%, right, is real. And even like, like when I was younger and it hadn't built that much strength, you do like a 5 rep max and it's not really that big of, you don't even know how to fucking stabilize the bar. So you're not even truly pushing yourself to the potential, right? So it's the stronger you get, the more intense it becomes.
yeah. In the
And the more,
beginning, you're just improving your coordination. Like if you look at the Greek God program, it works so well in the beginning, but I cannot imagine doing standing press with like 200 pounds 2 times a week. Like,
yeah, or it's like technically it's every 4 or 5
yeah, or,
days.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 2 times a week if you're doing the
Yeah, you know
a
what? I love doing standing press when you can do less than your body weight. So if you're
yes,
180 pounds and you're at a level where you're standing pressing 120 pounds, 130 pounds, it's awesome. When you're doing like less than your body weight, it feels good. Once you get to the point where you're lifting like close to your body weight, 10, 15 pounds below, above, it's just brutal, you know? So the one benefit of the Greek God program, which is why I think it worked very, very well, is that you're doing the incline press first for 3 sets. And so naturally you have to go lighter on the standing press. And so then you do standing press, right? So if you normally do 200 pounds fresh and then you did 3 sets of incline, you might be only be doing 170 for that first heavy set. So it works better. Like I kind of like I don't really do standing press anymore, but if I was to do standing press, I kind of like it after an incline, right? When you're already a little bit fatigued, and then you don't have to lift, like I don't have to worry about pushing 180, 85 pounds. I can do like 160, even 145 or something. So that I find works a lot better. But yeah, the Greek God program like transformed me, especially when I was used to doing bodybuilding training. Then I went to Greek God, and like there's some magic about literally doing, like when you do a lot of normal bodybuilding workouts and then you literally just do incline press 3 sets, standing press 3 sets, you retransform your physique. Like you build this plate of armor chest, this masculine chest. You don't have this droopy fucking bodybuilder puffy chest. You build this plate of armor chest, the big fucking shoulders, right? You're doing your lateral raises, your triceps. The other day you're getting strong on the weighted chin-ups, your biceps, you're doing your legs. Like it just, you build this fucking, you build that ripped artiste physique, which is good for like, that's like step one, right? To become the ripped artiste is like rip the Greek God for 6 months.
it's
And
one of
then
my favorite routines. And I think if you're advanced, you could run it if you just leave more reps in reserve. So I'm gonna test running it again, but just leave more reps in reserve so I can
yeah,
follow that routine.
yeah,
With
the beauty of it is that like you're training 3 days a week, alternating between workout A, workout B. And so you get more consistent practice. So if you're not crazy strong in incline and standing press, well, guess what? You get to practice that movement not once a week, but every 4 or 5 days. So like for example, you'll hit on Monday, then again on Friday, then Wednesday, and so you get this higher frequency, and so you also have more. You can hit PRs like when you're beginner, intermediate. You can, it's easier to hit PRs. So now you get to hit PRs not 4 times a month, 6 times a month. So this is why this Greek God routine worked so well. It allows you to achieve PRs and strength gain at the fastest rate possible, and you practice more frequently, right? And then you same thing with the weighted chin-ups, right? So it, like if I lost a bunch of strength and muscle and I wanted to get back as fast as possible, I would probably do that for 3, 4 months, even 12 weeks. I mean, look, if you're hitting PRs 6 times a month for 12 weeks, that's like 18 PRs, right? That's amazing. That's the power of the Greek God. And so funny enough, when we're talking about like a lot of these guys are embracing minimalist training. So yes, so Mike Menser was started going viral on the algos 2 years ago, a year ago, and he's got some strong stuff. But yes, he does push. He kind of goes too extreme with the minimalist and just one all out set. And then the way he structures his training, I don't love it. I don't find like it's the puzzle piece. I have to pull it up again, but I remember looking at it and be like, I wouldn't quite do it like that. There was some, in my opinion, there was some limitations. Um, and so it didn't perfectly allow for, it was either you weren't, let's see, Mike Menster. And then Gabe, why don't you speak about some of the issues with measuring these
Yeah.
studies showing muscle growth?
Yeah, the measurements taken after these studies doing super high volume, like they're super flawed because they're taking the measurements 4 days after, and that's where edema or the swelling is at the highest. So you're seeing essentially wrong results basically, and they're saying higher volume is better because the measurements are showing that, but it's just edema, swelling in the muscle. So if you want to take the measurements correctly, you would ideally want to do that like 5, 7 days after.
Right.
So
Yes. So a lot of these studies that show higher volume works well are actually just getting some swelling in there. And if you remove the noise, lower volume training crushes. Like low volume training, getting strong works better for building the contractual tissue. Okay. So
and
yeah,
they're also just training one muscle, right?
yeah. Yeah, some of these studies are just focusing on one muscle, so you can, if you're not training everything else, then there's
Yeah, that
less systemic fatigue. So it's a bit different. Okay, so but yeah, Mike Metzler's workout, apparently this is his workout. So he would train, so I actually like this. He would do 4 workouts over so he hit his body parts twice every 8 to 9 days. So this is actually the Man of Steel, the Man of Steel in the app. We called it the Troy protocol, but it made more sense to call it the Man of Steel. So you're training 4 times in 8 days, every other day, and you're basically hitting your muscle groups twice a week, or it's like twice every 8 days, which allows for flawless recovery. Every time you come in, I call it peak response training. You come in fully recovered. So the Man of Steel works well for guys that want to build up their legs a bit more. So there's 2 lower body workouts with some traps. Yeah, so he's training basically so he has an 8 to 9 day schedule, hitting his muscle groups, 4 workouts over 8 to 9 days. But he does like legs, chest, triceps. So he's hitting interesting. He's doing leg extensions first, then squats. So he's doing isolation first, then compound. Interesting. It's either 2 or 1 set. So he's doing leg extension, squats, leg curls, standing calf raises, another calf raise. Then he does chest flies, then incline bench, then dips, then push downs, then triceps. So he does a very lot of exercises, but just 1 to 2 sets each. And then he does his back, traps, shoulders, biceps. Um, I mean, it obviously worked for him. It definitely worked for him. I wouldn't like to do legs and then have to hit my chest and triceps. But yeah, it worked for him. I mean, you're hitting your muscle groups twice every 8 to 9 days, which is good. But it's a lot of 1 set. And I don't think you need to have this many exercises. But yeah,
how
interesting.
many does it say how many reps?
All 6 to 8, and I really do like the 6 to 8 rep range. It's all 6 to 8. Machine pullover, barbell row, machine shrug, side lateral raises, dumbbell or machine, standing barbell curl, dumbbell concentration curl. No shoulder presses. Interesting. It's easier to get away without shoulder presses when you're not using or when you're on anabolics. It's very hard to build incredible shoulders as a natural without shoulder pressing. It's very hard. And we talked about this in the last thing that shoulder pressing, the correct technique, shoulder pressing does a great job building the medial delt.
Yeah, it's actually almost just the same as doing lateral raises.
Yeah, but like you're getting heavier weight, it's more compact. Like if I stopped training my shoulders and they got smaller, dude, like I would. It's so much easier to build shoulders fast with shoulder work, with heavy shoulder pressing, way easier. Just trying to build shoulders with just some lateral raises and some
You're
horizontal
so,
pressing is
yeah, you're
way
so
hard.
limited to the weight. Like I don't think I've increased my weight on lateral raises in years. It's pretty much the same, but my overhead presses went up a bunch.
Yeah, so like it's The overhead pressing is just it's non and lateral raises are also non-negotiable. The point is you do both. Like that's that's the point.
Hmm. And I like the way we are now separating them from workout A and workout C. So in the past, we're doing them in the same workout, but now if you separate them, you're getting twice a week stimulus for the medial delt.
Yeah. And so, right now we're witnessing in real time the sort of the downfall of Mike Israetel.
Yeah.
He's the industry is kind of yeah, they kind of see through it now. So he did a critique video of me a couple of years ago. It got a lot of views, right? And I did my response video going through every single point he said and kind of stating the fact of the matter and giving my full rebuttal, which was had an outpouring of like positive response. He never responded to that one, which was like it pretty much like dropped the hammer. Um, and so, but now there's been a lot of and I knew Mike Israetel kind of I knew he used way too much, like he took way too many leaps and he took way too many leaps with like his research and a lot of that stretch mediated hypertrophy and I Lyle McDonald's a little bit of an interesting guy. He to me when it comes to fitness and analyzing research, he's the voice of reason. And I always saw that Lyle McDonald always called out Mike Israetel and like all this bullshit. Sometimes Mike Israetel would like quote these studies where they're doing, 20 sets and like 5 sets of squats to failure. And Lyle was like, bro, you cannot do 5 sets of squats to failure. That's not a thing. Like you cannot do it. Like do 5 sets of 12 reps squats to failure. You can't. And so, anyways, I always saw through the Mike Israetel. Um, but yeah, so apparently he's getting backlash because his PhD is not very legit. Like it's not a very legit PhD.
Yeah, he's super big on that stretch mediated hypertrophy.
Yeah, and yeah, apparently his PhD wouldn't have of like any legitimate school wouldn't have crossed the threshold, but I look, I haven't really poured into this stuff. Point is I focus on getting people fucking results, and I am the guinea pig. I test this shit myself. I came to the conclusion over 10 years ago when I was like 21. It's a formula. Get lean equals calorie deficit. Enough protein, not too much protein. You have to have a balance of fats and carbs. We need to structure and craft the diet in a way that's so enjoyable. Because if you have a routine that's hard for you to do, if it feels like this is not me, I'm not someone that eats these small meals. I'm not someone that fucking, if it feels out of alignment, you will never get to the goal. The journey has to be aligned. And so I crafted the perfect system. And I crafted, right? Like it's muscle growth is just strength. It's just get strong. So craft your training to hit PRs, get strong. And when you get strong, you build muscle. When you get lean, you create that lights out transformation. And so I kind of put the formula together. And this was really just me being laser focused on the goal. And so now we're kind of seeing a lot of these evidence based people, research people kind of catching up to kind of what I've been saying from day one, which is very, very cool. They're kind of catching up and it's no, it's a fun point in the industry, and this is also why why have we had so many insane transformations at Kinobody? So the system just works, right? We attract really awesome people that fucking do it, but it's like when you have a system that just you follow it, you're like, yes, yes, 3 workouts a week, 5, like I'm hitting my PRs, I'm getting stronger, I'm doing my fat, like this is enjoyable, this is a lifestyle. When you feel like motivated and inspired from the routine and it's aligned, you're like, well, I can do this for the rest of my life. That's when the transformation is born. It's born when the journey is beautiful. When the journey is a pain in the ass, when the process is a pain in the ass, you get punished for that. You get punished for it. Real transformations happen when it's like you're in alignment. Yes, this is enjoyable. We're crushing it. That's how you transurfed. That's how you achieve any goal in life, right?
Yeah.
Anything in life, like you have to like it's got to feel aligned. If you're doing something that's out of alignment, it's not as good. So
Yeah. I don't know about you, like, but I always look forward to my workouts because we're not training that much. So like if you're training 5, 6, 7 times a week, you're not going to be looking forward to working out.
Yeah, you know what? This is a beautiful point. I also always look forward to my workouts. I get excited to train. It is a gift, right? And like value and scarcity are linked. So if you're in the gym 2, 3 hours a day, you don't value it. But if you're doing just 3 workouts a week, you get excited. And as long as like if your sleep is good, right, and your testosterone levels are in a good place, you get excited to train. You get excited to train. Like if I was to have a week where I'm barely sleeping, yeah, those workouts are going to be tough, right? But like when you're dialed, you're sleeping well, you're on the freaking mojo, like you cannot wait to hit that workout. You can't wait. So
Yeah.
it's so I tend to gravitate towards doing 3 workouts a week, and then here and there sometimes I'll pull it back to 2. Or sometimes, if my schedule is crazy, then I'll end up doing the 3 workouts over like 8 days instead of 7.
And once you test this, like you're tracking your workouts, you want to train 3 times a week because you see more PRs that way. And a lot of people are not tracking their workouts. Like if you're not tracking your workout, I don't know what you're doing. Like you're
Yeah, we've
just
made it so with the Kino app, we made it so freaking easy and more fun. You just go in the app, you do the workout. It's so easy to plug it in. And if you want it, you can see some new movements that I'm doing. We've added some new movements that I'm doing in my routines. You can swap it in. Like it's the tracking is like if you're not tracking your workout, you're not improving. Like you're not improving. Like you just can't. Like and I've tracked pretty much every single workout since I was like 14, 15. That's also how if I never tracked my workouts, I never would have known what worked, what didn't work, what
yeah.
to do, you know?
The feedback of knowing what is working is always going to be within your workouts. Like if you're improving, you kind of know what you're doing is working.
Yeah. And like a lot of you know, like a lot of things are overrated for actually getting you stronger, building muscle. So like if your diet's a little bit shittier, if your sleep's a bit shittier, it doesn't make as big of a difference as you think. Like training is the stimulus. It's not like that. And you always hear some of these stories of guys that have shitty diets that make like build tons of muscle and build strength. Like it's not hard to eat enough protein. It's not hard to eat enough calories, right? Like if you're like the training is most of it. Like as long as you're not under eating, right? As long as you're getting some sleep, like you're getting 6 hours, like right. As long as you're not doing any massive mistakes, the training is the real driver, right?
Yeah.
So it's the
Like
yeah.
it's people always want to find ways to recover faster from their workouts, but the first thing they need to look at is their training. Like if you're not recovering from your training, you're doing the wrong training. You're doing too much.
Yeah. Yeah. And when your training's dialed, like probably the thing that makes the biggest difference once your training's dialed. So like yes, if you're eating in a big calorie deficit, it's harder to make consistent strength and muscle gains. So eating more. So once you get lean enough, you need to bring the calories up, non-negotiable. You don't need to go into crazy surplus, but just eat around maintenance, right? Maybe a touch above. The next thing that will make the biggest difference with gaining more strength and muscles, probably creatine. Creatine and betaine has a profound improvement on strength and muscle. I actually been traveling for the last 3 weeks. I have not been taking any creatine at all. So I'm excited to get back on the gains when I'm back in my environment. But creatine does make a pretty big impact.
Yeah.
Um,
And caffeine, like I could not imagine not training without caffeine.
yeah, that's non-negotiable. Like it shouldn't even be said. Like who's not like, some people are going against caffeine and be like, "Oh, I'm cutting out coffee." And like, no, cutting out coffee. I know many people that cut out coffee and like they went back to it, right? There was no benefit. Like as long as you don't overdo caffeine, like if you can stick to 300 milligrams, 400 milligrams a day max, it's pure positive. If you're slamming fucking 6 coffees or going to 600, 700 milligrams, yeah, there are downsides. But it's like the sweet spot. And caffeine even improves dopamine function. It even has lasting improvements on dopamine signaling, dopamine sensitivity, right? So caffeine is like incredible, especially when you take it in a fasted state. It's just so awesome. Okay, well, we covered a lot, Gabe. Was there anything else that we wanted to, we might, in the next
Yeah,
episode, we
we
might
could. finish off with your traveling in Europe,
Let's
like how you've been staying lean.
let's save that for the next episode.
Okay.
Traveling, how to stay lean, traveling in Europe, different cities, eating out, all that stuff. We'll save it for the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure also, if you want to can take your training to the next level, the Kino Body app is amazing. I'll put a link in the description. Like, get inside the Kino app. We also have my self-hypnosis routines in there. I listen to this every single morning. I usually listen to it twice in a row. It's only 6 minutes. So just it helps lock in the mindset, align you with the person. Like, you need, if you want to transform, you need to be that person right now. So if we can align you with that person, then in the inner reality always becomes your external reality. So the self-hypnosis, especially for me, for cutting and getting very lean, it's mission critical. But get inside the app. And then, Gabe and I are talking about doing a cool little coaching group. So we might be looking at putting together the Ripped Artiste coaching group, which will be awesome for people that want to do weekly group calls with us, get instant forum access, where we're going to be hanging out. So we might be launching something like that, the Ripped Artiste group. It's going to be a really, really cool community, right? It'll be like a group coaching format. So we're going to be looking at putting that together. But if you guys want to comment, let us know about that, the Ripped Artiste group, and we're going to make it like a really good deal, like a really, really good deal. If we end up launching this, so let us know if that's something you're interested in, and that's really for people that are already inside the app. Like it's for people that are in the app having the different routines. So make sure to be in that. But let us know, and we will talk to you guys soon. Take care, and make sure to check out Gabe on Instagram as well. I'm at Gregory O'Gallagher. Gabe, what's your Instagram?
Gabriel Davids.
Yes. Okay. Take care, guys.
Bye bye.